Most people think power comes from dominating a room, from having the last word, from proving a point so thoroughly that nobody dares challenge them again. They believe control is about force, volume, presence. But watch closely. The people who actually control the room are rarely the loudest. They are the least reactive. The moment you react emotionally, you hand over control. The moment you flare up, defend too quickly, argue too hard, or try to set the record straight, something subtle happens. You are no longer choosing your behavior. You are responding to theirs. And that is the quiet surrender of power. Reactivity feels justified. Someone disrespects you, so you snap back. Someone questions your decision, so you over-explain. Someone ignores you, so you chase. In the moment, it feels strong. It feels assertive. But beneath the surface, it reveals something else. It reveals that your emotional state can be moved by external pressure. It reveals that other people can press a button and get a predictable response. And once people know where your buttons are, they own part of you. The Stoics understood this long before modern psychology put labels on it. They taught that the only true power you possess is governance over your own mind, not the market, not other people's opinions, not whether someone respects you, only your judgments and responses. Marcus Aurelius wrote to himself constantly about this, not about conquering others, but about conquering impulse. Because the man who cannot control his reactions is easy to control. He can be baited, provoked, distracted, manipulated. All it takes is the right trigger. Look at arguments in real life. One person makes a comment, the other reacts instantly. Tone changes, body tightens, words speed up. Now the first person knows something landed. They found the crack. From that moment forward, the dynamic shifts. The conversation is no longer about truth. It is about control. And the one who stays calm has it. The one who reacts is chasing equilibrium. Most people do not realize how often they are being tested. Not in dramatic ways, in small social probes, a sarcastic remark, a delayed reply, a subtle challenge to your authority at work, a joke at your expense in a group. These are not always malicious. Sometimes they are unconscious, but they are signals. People are measuring your stability. They are asking one silent question: can you be moved? When you react quickly, you answer that question for them. Yes. When you stay grounded, you create uncertainty. And uncertainty is powerful. Because if people cannot predict your emotional response, they cannot steer it. A calm person in a tense moment forces everyone else to recalibrate. The energy shifts toward them, not because they said more, but because they said less. This is where most men sabotage themselves. They confuse composure with weakness. They think if they do not respond immediately, they look passive. So they fire back. They defend. They escalate. They mistake intensity for strength. But real strength is restraint. Real strength is the ability to feel the surge of emotion and decide not to act on it. That is discipline. That is control. That is power. The Stoics had a concept often described as the inner citadel, a mental fortress. The idea was simple. External events are outside your walls. Inside those walls live your judgments, your principles, your chosen responses. If you allow every insult, delay, or disagreement to storm the gates, your citadel collapses. If you decide what enters and what is ignored, you remain sovereign. When you stop reacting to everything, you start choosing everything. Consider how this plays out in relationships. Someone pulls away slightly. Instead of reacting with anxiety or accusation, you remain steady. Someone tries to provoke jealousy. you do not rise to it. Someone attempts to undermine you in front of others. You respond briefly, calmly, and move on. Over time, a pattern forms. People realize they cannot extract chaos from you. They cannot farm emotion from you. And when they cannot control your emotions, they lose leverage. There is a reason calm leaders are respected even when they are not the most charismatic. It is not about charm, it is about stability. Stability creates trust. Instability creates doubt. If your mood swings with every external stimulus, people feel that. They may not articulate it, but they sense volatility. And volatility is uncomfortable. The man who is slow to anger, measured in speech, and deliberate in reaction becomes the psychological anchor in any room. Halfway through this, let me speak directly to you. If this perspective resonates, if you are tired of being pulled into pointless battles and subtle power games, subscribe and join this community of over 1,000 like-minded people who are focused on calm authority and self-mastery. Not noise, not hype, discipline. Because mastering your reactions is not motivational fluff. It is daily practice, and very few are willing to do it. Back to the core idea. When you stop reacting, something interesting happens. The people who relied on your reactions become uncomfortable. The colleague who used to get a rise out of you escalates at first. The person who enjoyed provoking you tries harder. Why? Because their control is slipping. They are used to pressing a button and seeing movement. When nothing happens, they feel it. And often, they reveal themselves in the process. They become the emotional one. They look unstable. The power quietly flips. This does not mean you become silent in every situation. Stoicism is not suppression. It is selection. There is a difference between choosing a response and blurting one out. A non-reactive person still speaks, but their words are measured. Their tone is steady. Their timing is intentional. They are not dragged into conversations. They enter them. Ask yourself this the next time you feel triggered. Am I responding because it aligns with my principles, or because my ego feels threatened? That pause is everything. In that pause lies your freedom. Most people collapse the gap between stimulus and response. They feel something and immediately act. The Stoic stretches that gap. In that space, they choose. And that choice compounds over time into reputation. Reputation is built on patterns. If you are known as someone who reacts emotionally, people will treat you accordingly. They will tiptoe around you or provoke you deliberately. If you are known as someone who is steady under pressure, people adjust themselves. They think twice before challenging you publicly. They choose their words more carefully. Not because you demanded it, because you demonstrated control. There is also a deeper layer to this. When you stop reacting, you stop outsourcing your emotional state. Your peace is no longer dependent on someone else behaving correctly. You do not need them to apologize for you to feel stable. You do not need them to agree for you to feel secure. That independence is magnetic. It signals that your self-worth is not negotiated in real time. Many men think dominance is about imposing. In reality, it is about not being imposed upon. If someone can dictate your mood with a comment, they dominate you. If they cannot move you without your permission, you dominate yourself. And self-dominance precedes any other form of influence. Here is the practical shift. The next time someone tries to bait you, slow everything down. Lower your voice instead of raising it. Shorten your answer instead of lengthening it. Hold eye contact a second longer. Then move on. No lecture, No dramatic defense, just composure. You will feel the tension. That tension is growth. It is the discomfort of not feeding an old habit. Over time, you will notice something else. You think more clearly. You regret less. You conserve energy. Reactivity is exhausting. It burns fuel on moments that do not deserve it. Calm selectivity preserves that fuel for decisions that matter. And people begin to associate you with steadiness rather than drama. The ultimate truth is this: when you stop reacting, you do not lose your edge. You sharpen it. You become less predictable, less manipulable, less emotionally available to chaos. And in a world addicted to outrage and instant response, that restraint feels rare. Rare things are valuable. So the next time someone tests you, pauses, provokes, or doubts you, remember this: your reaction is the prize. Do not hand it over cheaply. Hold it, choose it, or withhold it entirely. Because the man who governs his own mind cannot be easily governed by others. And that is the essence of Stoic psychology. Control yourself, and control quietly follows.